you start developing medical problems. And that drives a lot of the issues we have both in Canada and the USA. Because we are spending a lot of money on healthcare in North America, and the major driver that's preventable is obesity. Now, why is that number so important? Why do we spend more money on people when their waist is too big? Well, it has to do with something called the omentum. It sounds like the momentum, without the M. It's this big belly fat that we have in there. But you got to get that equation right, because it works for men, and it works for women, and it works for kids. Now, let's just go through the numbers. I'm 6 foot 1 inches tall. 6 times 12, 72, plus 1, 73 inches. Divided in half, what's that? 36 and a half inches. So all you gotta do is make sure that that belly button circumference is less than half your height. Let me show you a little picture here. That's what you have to do. You gotta get a measuring tape, put it over your hips, right over your belly button. Are you all clear on this? Now, this is the catch. Men over the age of 40 never buy a new belt. They just slide the belt down like this, and they walk around like that. See what they do? They walk around like this, and they say, I got a 30-inch waist down here. And they never ever worry about it again. So you actually have to get the measuring tape and actually figure this out, or you're never gonna get that down. All right, now, let's do this on animation. That yellow pad's called the omentum. Remove that yellow pad. Look under it. Now, you guys have had a little something to eat, I hope, today. That food is going through the small intestines. The liver is that big orange structure. We're going to come back to that in a minute. That food goes through the small intestines and it mixes with the green stuff. The green stuff's bile. It comes from the gallbladder. The bile mixes with the food. As that food is mixed by the bile, it's like a soap. It washes it, and you absorb it through the major vein of the body called the portal vein, the door vein, to the liver. The liver then takes it, makes it what it's wants. If it's good for you, the liver loves it. If it's bad for you, you turn your liver into foie gras. You literally turn it into fat. See how it's turning beige? It has a problem for 1/4 of us. Then this happens, that belly fat. It stretches ponderously across you, getting bigger and bigger, stretching out your waistline, and violating that basic formula I gave. When you got that big beer belly, and it's more than half your height, that fat that you see, that animation right there, it does 3 things. It poisons your liver, turns it to that foie gras that I showed you. It blocks the ability of insulin to work, so you get diabetes, and it puts pressure on your kidneys, suffocates them, and they have to respond by trying to raise more blood pressure so they get enough blood to them, and that causes high blood pressure. So all these 3 problems I've been talking about, they are all caused by the same issue, which is high blood pressure, which is high belly fat. And when you realize that, you're like, my goodness, I can get off my medications, I get my friends off their medications, my family, and I can dramatically change how much we ought to spend to stay healthy, and by the way, I'll live longer. But why don't we do it? If it's so straightforward as a message, why can't we lose weight? Let's get into that. This is an important principle. The first thing is, we depend on willpower. My friends, willpower doesn't work. Conventional diets depend on it, and it always fails us. How many of you, put your hands up, can hold your breath indefinitely underwater? A couple Rotarians here put their hands up, but most of us can't do it, right? It's impossible. Why would I even ask the question? It's foolish because we know that the biology of respiration makes it impossible to go underwater for any length of time. The same holds for food. There are a dozen redundant systems, a dozen of them, that force us to eat. There's no way you'll overcome those. It's impossible. So instead of trying to force your body, your willpower, over your appetite, instead, I want you to nudge the biology of blubber. Just edge it over, and by doing that, you'll effortlessly begin to move your body in the right direction. I'm going to show you some simple tips, and you're going to understand when I'm done why thin people, because you know, people who are thin think fat people are lazy lugs. And fat people think thin people are just lucky devils, right? But the truth is neither. Thin people, if they got it from their parents, or they've developed these lifestyle changes that naturally do the kinds of things I'm about to share with you. And they work pretty well. Now, there are some simple crutches. And that's all they are. They're crutches. They're designed for 2-3 months of work. I give them to people because I know that a lot of times you need a catalyst to change. So green coffee bean extract really does work. In the trials that have been done, you'll lose about 1 pound a week, more than you would have, for about 3 months. So it'll help you lose 10, maybe 12 pounds. But the rest of it is not gonna happen that way. And there's so much fake stuff out there. We have this thing called Ozwatch now. You know, I never sell any products. I never have, I never will. If you see my picture next to a product being sold, I can guarantee you it's fake. So not only are they ripping me off by using my name wrongly, but they also are gonna probably steal from you. We went out to San Diego last month and I busted this group that's really doing some bad stuff. And they're using my name, selling something called Miracle Garcinia Cambogia. And they were actually only putting about 10% of the real stuff in the pills, which means it couldn't possibly work. And they were charging extra for it. So they're stealing your money, misleading you, sometimes putting contaminants in these pills. It bothers me. So I don't mind it as a crutch. If you're gonna buy these kinds of products, please buy them in a real store, a bricks and mortar store, so you can actually talk to the proprietor and you know they're not gonna steal from you because you can come back the next day and talk to them if they do, instead of buying them on the way. But that's for simple ideas, for the green coffee extracts, the Garcinias, the Yukon syrups, all the things that are crutches. The real way to lose weight is by automating certain systems. Coffee is very effective. The cream and the sugar aren't, but the coffee itself is. Coffee is the #1 source of antioxidants in North America, and because it has a little caffeine, it stimulates your metabolism, and actually has some benefits for your liver and other organs as well. So you can get up to about 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. Now, I personally don't drink much coffee because I'm a surgeon, and surgeons, 2 things happen if you drink coffee. Your hands shake, right? That's not good for surgery. And also, I have to go to the bathroom when I drink coffee, which is really bad in surgery. It smells, it's ugly, it's terrible. So I actually prefer green tea. And green tea has about a quarter of the caffeine of coffee, but it still helps with weight loss because it's young tea. Green tea hasn't been oxidized. That's why it never became black tea. And because it's young tea, all these great phenols, these chemicals are still alive in it. They haven't been destroyed. So your body gets to take advantage of all those and gets to